Everyone talks. They talk about loyalty, about love, about how they'll never hurt you, how they'll always be there. But words are cheap, too cheap. Anyone with a mouth can say something nice. Anyone can make promises. Anyone can swear they've changed. But talk doesn't heal betrayal. Talk doesn't fix abandonment. Talk doesn't show up at 2 a.m. when you're breaking. You know what does? Action. Action is the real truth. It's not sweet. It's not dressed up. It's raw. It's real. It never lies. You've heard it all before, haven't you? The apologies, the second chances, the I didn't mean it. But ask yourself, did their actions ever match their words? That's the part that matters. Not what they said when they wanted forgiveness, but what they did when you needed them most. So if you're still listening to what they say, you're setting yourself up to fall again. Start watching, start learning. Because the truth doesn't live in their mouth, it lives in what they do when no one's watching. People say things to get what they want. They know the right words. They know how to sound sincere. They know how to play you. I love you. I'll change. You can trust me. They say it all, but mean none of it, because words are performance. They're costumes. They're bait. You want to believe them. Because it sounds good, because you miss who they pretended to be, because you're tired of being let down. But here's the truth. Words are easy, too easy. There's no cost to saying, I'm sorry, no risk in making promises, no effort in swearing loyalty. That's how they trap you. They feed you lines you want to hear. They put on a show, and you keep clapping for it. You fall in love with their potential, with the version they talk about, but you ignore the version they keep showing you. That's the illusion. It's not who they say they are. It's who they prove they are. Every time you let words override actions, you're choosing fantasy over reality, and reality always wins. So stop falling for the echo of promises. Start watching who they really are when the words stop flowing and life gets hard. You want to know who someone really is? Stop listening. Start watching. Watch what they do when no one's clapping, when there's nothing to gain, when it's not convenient. Anyone can act loyal in easy times. Anyone can say they care. But actions, they don't lie. They don't wear masks. They show up when words disappear. They prove what feelings can't explain. They expose everything. You want to test someone's loyalty? Fall apart. Get quiet. Disappear for a while. Then see who checks on you. See who shows up without being asked. That's who's real, because real love moves. Real care takes action. Real people don't just say it, they live it. Watch who makes time for you. Who remembers the small things. Who keeps their word when it's hard. You don't need a speech. You don't need long explanations. You just need to observe, because observation gives you power. It gives you clarity. It shows you who's worth keeping and who's just pretending. The truth is always in the follow-through, not the intention, not the promises, but what they actually do. You're not getting hurt because you're weak. You're getting hurt because you keep ignoring what you see. You hear what you want to hear. You hope they'll change. You forgive too fast. You excuse too much. You tell yourself they didn't mean it. They're just going through something. They'll get better, but they don't. And deep down, you know it. They showed you who they are over and over, in their silence, in their absence, in their actions. But you didn't want to believe it because the truth hurts, because accepting it means letting go. And letting go feels like losing. So you hold on to memories, to promises, to the version of them that never really existed. And every time they disappoint you, you take the blame. You think, maybe I'm asking for too much. No, you're not. You're just asking the wrong people. You keep getting hurt because you keep giving chances to people who never earned the first one. You trust too soon. You love too hard. You stay too long. That's the pattern. That's the pain. It won't stop until you stop ignoring it, until you stop letting words drown out the truth you've seen with your own eyes. People are good at pretending. They wear masks, smile with sharp teeth, say all the right things while planning their exit. You think they care because they show up sometimes. You think they're loyal because they say they are. But it's all a role, all a performance. They mirror your emotions, act just like you, make you feel seen, heard, safe. But it's not real. It's manipulation. They don't love you. They love the control. They love the benefits. They love how easy it is to win your trust. And when you stop giving, they vanish. They blame you. They call you the problem. Why? Because you broke the script. You stopped falling for the act. You stopped feeding their ego. But actions, they can't fake those. You want truth? Watch what they do when they don't get their way. When you tell them no, when you set a boundary, that's when the mask slips. That's when the real face shows up. And most times, it's not what you hoped for. So stop trusting the character they play. Start recognizing the pattern they follow, because words are rehearsed. But actions are instinct, and instinct never lies. You don't need to explain yourself. Not to them, not to anyone. They heard you the first time. They just didn't care. They don't need more chances, more talks, more warnings. What they need is consequences. What they need is distance. You keep trying to make them understand. But the truth is, they already do. They just choose not to change. So stop talking, start watching. Watch what they do when you're quiet, when you pull back, when you no longer beg to be seen. That's when their truth shows. The one who cares won't need reminders, won't need second chances. They'll show up because that's who they are. And the one who doesn't, they'll disappear. They'll make excuses. They'll shift the blame. Let them. Because every time you explain your pain to someone who caused it, you reopen the wound. You're not here to convince anyone to treat you right. You're here to protect your peace, to protect your energy, to protect your future. So stop explaining yourself to people who keep showing you they don't deserve access to you. Their actions are the only explanation you need. Letting go isn't the hardest part. Believing the truth is, because deep down you knew, you saw the signs, you felt the distance, you caught the lies, but you kept holding on, not to the person, to the illusion, the version of them you created in your head, the potential, the hope, the dream of what it could have been. But they're not that person. They never were. And the longer you pretend, the more damage you take. You're not losing something real. You're losing what was never there to begin with. Stop grieving the mask. Stop waiting for a rewrite. Stop hoping they'll become someone else. They've already shown you who they are, and that's all you need to know. When actions don't match the promises, that's not a glitch. That's the truth. And the truth, it hurts, but it also frees you, because once you see clearly, you stop settling, you stop chasing, you stop giving your all to someone who gives you nothing. Let go of the illusion. It's not love if it only lives in your mind. It's not real if it never shows up in their actions. Being alone isn't the enemy. being used is. You stay in broken connections because you fear loneliness. But what you should fear is losing yourself, trying to keep others around. You think being alone means something's wrong with you. It doesn't. It means you're healing. It means you're learning. Self-respect will cost you people. It will cost you comfort, but it'll save your soul. There's pain in letting go, but there's poison in holding on to people who drain you. Stop calling it loyalty when it's really self-neglect. Stop calling it love when it only breaks you. You were not made to beg, not for love, not for attention, not for basic effort. You're allowed to want more. You're allowed to walk away, even if it means standing alone for a while, because standing alone in truth is better than being surrounded by lies. The ones who matter won't leave when you start respecting yourself. The ones who love you won't need to be reminded how. Loneliness is temporary, but peace is permanent when you stop letting chaos in. Choose yourself, even if it means silence, even if it means solitude. That's not weakness. That's power. You don't owe anyone an explanation for having standards. You don't have to justify your boundaries. You don't have to explain why you walked away. They know why. They just don't want to admit it. You're not too sensitive. You're not too cold. You're just finally protecting your peace. And that makes people uncomfortable, especially the ones who benefited from your lack of boundaries. You see, people love the version of you that says yes to everything. That forgives too fast. That stays too long. But the moment you say no, you're the problem. Let them think that. Let them call you selfish. Let them call you hard. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to protect your energy, to guard your space, to build a life where peace is permanent. And peace starts with boundaries, not the kind you explain, not the kind you debate, the kind you live by. If someone can't respect your space, they don't deserve access to you. If they only value you when it's easy, they never valued you at all. So stop talking, start acting. Don't build fences made of words, build walls made of action. This world is full of talkers, but talk means nothing. You want to know who's real? Don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. It's not the I love you that matters. It's how they act when you're hurting. It's whether they show up when it's inconvenient. It's if they keep their promises when no one's watching. People reveal themselves in the quiet, in the storms, in the moments when words run out and only action remains. You don't need apologies without change. You don't need promises without proof. You don't need love that disappears every time things get difficult. That's not love. That's manipulation. Real love, it's consistent. It's steady. It's shown. Stop giving people second chances when they failed the first one. Stop trusting people's potential and start trusting their pattern. You've heard the lies. You've felt the hurt. Now believe what they've shown you. If their actions don't match their words, they've already answered you. You don't need closure. You need clarity. And clarity lives in behavior, not in excuses. So here's your rule. Trust what you see, not what you hear, because actions reveal true colors. Always have, always will.